Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Uchakudash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The Abominable Harlot's Judgment. And the Abominable Harlot is found in Revelation, the 17th chapter, and that's dealing with America. Now, this lesson came from inspiration of a video I was watching yesterday. I'm not sure which one it was on Elder Apostle Kabar's videos. I believe it was this one here. He once said the Edomites are done away. Does he still believe that? But I kind of just skimmed through it a little bit. It was one of the videos where he mentioned about the judgment of America, being a harlot, being stoned, and with being stoned in fire, and which Elder Apostle Star, has been speaking about that a lot too. And I remember if it was this video or another video, but some scriptures came to mind, and I went to I wrote some of them down yesterday. I followed some precepts in the blue letter, and this morning, after the lesson, I actually had another scripture that came to mind, so I started going through that, getting some precepts from that, and Lord's will, it'll be an edifying lesson. Because America is compared to a harlot in Revelation 17, and also Nahum, the 3rd chapter, which speaks about ancient Nineveh, which today applies to America, because America has become that mistress of witchcraft, which is pretty much a madam or an expert in witchcraft. All right, and part of witchcraft is sexual magic. This is why you had the priesthood and the religion of these different nations that would have, orgies and different sexual orientations, dealing with, the worship of their gods, such as in the book of, I believe that's Numbers 25, where it spoke about, the children of Israel dealing with them Moabite women or Midianite women, and they were having sex in the name of their God, and that's why they were destroyed, including a lot of the leaders of Israel. They were going off too. So we're going to start off in Revelation 17, because America's judgment is destruction. And the reason why she's being destroyed is because when you go into Revelation 17, it explains that there was one of the heads, which became the 8th head, which came out of Britain, but is of all 7 of those major empires of Esau, beginning with the Greeks. And when the Apostle John saw America in his vision, he also saw that she was going to eventually be destroyed. And he saw the manner in which she was destroyed. He saw her being destroyed by, her allies, and even by some of these rulers of the planet who she has been in bed with. So what I want to do here is I want to read Revelations from verses 3 to 5, and then pick out a couple of words in the 5th verse, and then take it from there. So Revelation 17:3, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. The scarlet-colored beast, scarlet is red. The scarlet-colored beast represents the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, as it's going to explain. And that beast with 7 heads and 10 horns is the representation of all of the Edomite empires, beginning with the Greek Empire and ending with the British Empire, which are the 7, and then America coming out of the 7, which would make the 8th, which is also a reincarnation of the ancient Roman Empire with her allies. It says having 7 heads and 10 horns, or 7 heads represent 7 major ruling powers of Esau. The Greeks, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, Germania Major, Germania Minor, and Britain. And then America came out of that union. All right. Specifically, she came through Britain, but she is of all seven of those empires, right? So the word we want to pick out of here, real quick, is the word blasphemy. All right. The word blasphemy is blasphemia or blasphemia, slander, detraction, speech injurious to another's good name. And that's what they're doing because they're taking, you know, the Lord, his son, and the doctrine that was once pure and made it into a total degenerate, low, demoralized, thing, despicable thing. All right. Here, vilification. So really, slandering, or speaking evil things about the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Shai. One of those things, outside of many, is that the Lord loves everybody and that he died, his son died for everybody. And that's not the case. That's blasphemy. And it is injurious speech because it's going contrary to what, the scriptures say. Now, let's go back and let's read verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Right, that's the elegance, the easy living, the grandiose, the golden city, that look, and also, the harlot ways of America. Because when a harlot goes out, right, especially a high class hoe, they go out dressed nice, got the newest, latest, fashions, got the newest, latest, perfumes, looking attractive so that they can allure men, seduce men. And that's what they do. And that's what America has done. She has seduced kings of the earth to come and join with her in bed, spiritually. All right. It says having a golden cup in a hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornications, right, which she makes the nations to drink from. All right. And this has nothing to do with the MOTB. The hand and the forehead on this has nothing to do, with the MOTB in the book of Revelation. This is totally different. This is dealing with, the cup is a representation of her philosophies, her demoralized ways, and the forehead, this was just something that actually the Apostle John saw. And it says, verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, which is the greatest conglomeration of confusion on the planet, the mother of harlots, because you can worship anything you want here. This is a place where you have freedom of religion. You can worship whatever God you want, worship whatever religion you want, so on and so forth, and abominations of the earth. Abominations of the earth is a representation of the Mo lifestyle that they push here, the alphabet people lifestyle that they push in this society. And being a harlot and a Mo is what's going to cause this place to be completely annihilated. Now, let's look up this word harlots. All right. Harlots is the word porne, where you get the word porno from. A woman who sells her body for sexual uses. A prostitute, a harlot, one who yields herself to defilement for the sake of gain. And that's what America has done. She has prostituted herself, claiming that they are Christians and they practice Judeo-Christian, religion, so on and so forth. But everything that they push goes contrary to what the scriptures, right? So let's hold off there and let's go to the judgment of harlots in the law. Let's deal first and foremost with the scripture dealing with the daughter of a priest or a high priest, right? Leviticus 21, and I'll start at 8. Thou shalt sanctify him, therefore, meaning the high priest, for he offereth the bread of thy power. He shall be holy unto thee, for I, the Lord, which sanctify you, am holy. and the daughter of any priest. Say priest, it doesn't matter if he's a high priest or priest. If she profane herself by playing the whore, she profaneth her father, she shall be what? Burnt with fire. And this is heavy, man. The way that the Lord set this whole thing up, it's just a master strategic stroke. Let's go to the word profane, and then let's go to the word whore. Profane herself is halal, right? Which is to profane, defile, pollute, desecrate, begin. So the word profane, pro is to go before, and phantom is temple or outside of the temple. All right. To go or out, phantom, temple, to go outside of the temple. And when a woman becomes a harlot, she becomes a whore, she prostitutes her body, she goes outside of the temple, she becomes profane. And therefore, eventually, she gets judged. And that judgment will come either by stoning or by, in this case, being burnt with fire. All right. So that's example one. But let's go now to the word whore. See what the word whore says. The word there is zanah. Zanah. It says commit fornication, be a harlot, play the harlot. And fornication just means adultery, whether it's spiritual or whether it's physical. All right, when the Israelite lays down or follows other religions, they're committing spiritual fornication or spiritual adultery against the Most High. When a woman has sex with another man outside of her husband, she is a fornicator or she is committing physical adultery. To be a harlot, act as a harlot, so on and so forth. You get it, what a prostitute is. One who sells her body, for monetary gain. All right, so the judgment for that is to be burnt with fire. Now, let's get to the next one. The next one, which is an example of this particular law here, is in Genesis chapter 38 and 24. This is dealing with Tamar. Tamar, who was the daughter-in-law of Judah. He had two sons, and Onan, if I'm not mistaken. And the first one dealt with her, got put to death. The second one popped her, didn't want to raise children to her for her brother. So he spilled his seed and he got put to death. So Salah, I think the last one was, he was promised to her when he got older, but Judah didn't keep his promise. So what she did was she wanted to get pregnant. So she, got dressed like a harlot and sold her goodies to Judah, the patriarch, Yahweh. And what happened was they found out that she was with child. He thought she had played the whore, so he wanted to judge her. So Genesis 38 and 23, and Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found. In other words, when Judah popped her, he promised her by giving her his staff and his signet that he would, give her a kid, okay, which was a baby goat or baby lamb, whatever it was. And they couldn't find her because there was no harlot there, because they didn't find it. And then when they inquired, they said there was never no harlot there. She just did that because she wanted, to get a child. It says, and it came to pass about 3 months after that, it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, hath played the harlot. And also, behold, she is with child by whoredom, or by harlotry, or adultery. And Judah said, bring her forth, and let her be what? Burnt. All right, so they were about to burn her. So that's an example of that law, that a harlot, or would be burnt. The word there's sharap, where you get the word seraphim also, which is a flying fiery serpent. In this case is dealing with fire, to burn. All right, be burnt, set on fire. All right, that's example number 2. Now let's go back to Revelation 17, and 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment. And what is a judgment? The judgment is the severe punishment that is going to be meted out to this harlot here, America, from the Lord. It says, of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And those of you that have been studying know that the waters represent multitudes and peoples and nations and tongues. So this is the judgment. Then it goes on to say, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication or spiritual adultery, in this case, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, right? Because they drank of that cup, which is the abominable cup that is in the whore's hand, which the nations had to drink in order for them to receive goods that they wanted. And they caused the rest of the citizens of their country to become drunk with the American philosophy, by spreading it to them and making it mandatory to them that they had to follow these ways, because that was the case with America, to corrupt the entire planet. That's why she is known as this harlot, this whore. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Why? Because their leaders pushed that upon them, that was pushed onto them by America, Babylon the Great. Now, let's jump down to the 15th verse. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues, which proves, that what the waters represent. And the 10 horns, which are 10 empires of Esau, so-called European empires, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. And we're coming into this prophecy also, because these European nations that make up the EU, right, which it was officially 6, then it expanded to 12, but really when you look at the scheme of it, it's really 10. They're seeing that the moves that America makes on the world scene is affecting them more than it's affecting America, and it's causing a disdain, and also how they're supposed to have, equal say in, hammering out policies for these different groups. And they're noticing that America, no matter how many people are against a particular thing, if America's for it, it gets passed, and just in general, a lot of other things that America's doing that is causing her allies in so-called Europe to hate her. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and what? And burn her with fire. So that's the judgment for a whore, which is the literal judgment for an actual whore or harlot or prostitute. This is also the same judgment that the Lord is going to use to destroy and to bring the great. For the Most High had put in their hearts to fulfill his will, right? Because don't nothing go down on the planet again unless the Most High sanctions it. Like you have this situation with heart programs and these different storms and hurricanes that are being manipulated by Esau. Well, the Lord is doing it indirectly. He's putting the spirit on these devils when they're sleeping to do these things, because he ruleth in the kingdom of men. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own ways? Shall they be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? So whether directly or indirectly, the Lord is doing these things by causing these devils to push what they want. Why? Because they are there to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, which is what? A one world government, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled, right? Because he's making it happen. He's the one that's calling the shots behind the scenes. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And if your eyes are open and you're not stuck in a portal somewhere, or your head underneath a rock, or you got that ostrich effect, that America is the one that's reigning over the kings of the earth. That's why they all come to America for, whatever it is that they want. Now we're at the point now where her influence is not as popular as it was at one time, but they still have a major influence on the world, on the planet of these people. Now let's go from there to the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, as we deal with the judgment of being a fire burning this harlot. So Isaiah 47:12 says, stand now with thine enchantments. This is the Lord speaking to America, Babylon the Great. When you read the first verse, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, which is America. She is not Babylon, ancient Babylon. She is not the Neo-Babylonian Empire. She is the daughter or the virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay? Sit on the ground, there's no throne. Why? Because you were sitting up, in this royal position, this royal spot as a queen. Now you are going to sit on the ground because you're going to be knocked off of your throne because the Lord has taken your throne from you. He take it down one and set up another. So this is the time to pluck up America from her, rooted seat that she's taken, on the planet. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Why? Because it's time for your judgment now. Stand now with thine enchantments, meaning your witchcraft, and with the multitude of thy sorcery, same thing. They've enchanted the world. The world wondered after the beast. They've used sorcery to keep the people, in the spell, mesmerized, seduced, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, because from the inception of America, that's all they've been doing. It's pushing this foul behavior upon the earth, and setting it up in the way of, Freemasonry, witchcraft, so on and so forth, Satanism. And when you look at the majority of those so-called founding forefathers, they were, for the most part, they were Masons, Freemasons, witches. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Right, let's see if you can prevail against the judgment that the Lord is going to bring upon you. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Right, you're constantly trying to find solutions to stay afloat, to continue on your quest, to keep pushing your agenda forward. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Right, let's see if they're going to be able to help you out. Behold, they shall be as stubble. Right, they're going to be like stubble. What is stubble? That's what's left over when after something is burnt. The fire shall burn them, just like it's going to burn you. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Why? Because the Lord is going to totally annihilate this place. The elements shall melt with fervent heat. Now let's go from there. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 21. We're reading about the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, America. Okay, Revelation 18:21. And a mighty angel took up a stone. There goes that stone, like a great millstone. Which what does a great millstone do? It crushes to powder the things that is rolling over. So what is that going to be? That's going to be, this is a metaphor for the missiles coming down upon America to flatten this place, to crush it, and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. All right, so it's going to be totally annihilated by fire. That's going to be shot over here in the form of those missiles, which are in the scriptures described as stones. So let's get, matter of fact, you know what? Let me hold on to this. I'm going to skip over this one, and we're going to just go deal with that right quick. Let's go to Revelation 16, a couple of chapters before this. This right here is some of the precepts that I was gathering today. Revelation 16:17, and the seventh angel, which when you read the scriptures, the seventh angel represents the destruction. It represents the end. 7 is completion. Poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, it is done. And this is what we're waiting for the Lord to say, it is done. And these things will not be possible until the Lord brings the total destruction. I'm sorry, till the Lord brings the the MOTB, which is the micro C hip, to be fully fulfilled. So lock it for 1 minute. All right. So that's when you see the MOTB, which is the micro C hip, being fully implemented, then know that things are going to be moving lightning fast after that point. It says, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake. What's going to cause this great earthquake? The missiles hitting the ground, which the scriptures say that the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard. So there's going to be a lot of devastation from the missiles, and there's going to be a lot of devastation from that great earthquake that's going to cause a lot of havoc. And you've seen when there's earthquakes in certain cities, the devastation is great depending on the magnitude of that earthquake. Highways fall, bridges fall, there's a lot of damage done to the infrastructure, to buildings, so forth. People die. It says, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake, and so great. Right. And this is also that time of trouble that was not since there was a nation even to that same time. And what's going to save the elect of the nation of Israel is the chariot of Yahushua here in America, and the angels that are going to be gathering Israel from the four corners of the earth. Because you're going to have the elect that's going to come out of the four corners of the earth. But America, Babylon the Great, just happens to be the major focus of salvation, because this is where the truth started to be magnified from, because this is the place where the Lord said that it will be said that the children of Israel, that we are the children of Israel. Because at one point it was said that, and even till now, they deny that we're the Israelites. It's preposterous in the eyes of these devils that we could even be, that we would even fix our face, to say that we are the Israelites. And the great city was divided in three parts. Three parts, when you read in Revelation and other parts of the scriptures, represents the three classifications of men. You have the sons of God, or the sons of the power, which are Israelites. You have the sons of men, which are the nations, and you have the sons of the wicked, which are the Edomites. Okay, and the major part, or the part that's when the scriptures speak about the third part of men being destroyed, that's Esau's empire, all of America. And the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. So don't think that the Lord forgot about this place, And this devastation, this destruction, even though it's evident, is going to come as a great surprise to the earth, to the people on the planet. But it's not going to come as a great surprise to the elect, In the Lord's will, we are the elect because our eyes are open to what's going on. It says, and every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed the Most High because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. And this stone is the missiles, or are the missiles, that's going to come down, rain down like it did in Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, when we look up this word hail, right, it's the word kalatza. It just says hail. And we go to the root, kalao, or kalaho. It says to loosen, slacken, relax, to let down from a higher place to a lower. Because hail comes down from the heavens, right? To what? To strike, let down, strike. So the Lord is going to cause the missiles to be shot up to the ends of the earth and then come down, raining from the heavens or from a higher place down to a lower place. And they come in an arcing fashion, from one part of the earth to the other. Just like when you shoot an arrow from a bow, the arrow will be shot, and if you're shooting the arrow up in the air, it's gonna come, it's gonna go up, and it's gonna arc back down. Okay, and what was it? Kasma, a gaping opening, chasm, a gulf. All right, and there's gonna be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, when we look at because when you look up the word stone, if you can see it, it's italicized. Whenever you see an English word that's italicized, there's no Greek or Hebrew word for it. So the what we're dealing with now is the weight of a talent or a talent. Because if you can see here, stone, there's nothing there. There's no entry. Weight of a talent is talantios, which goes into the word talent. Weight or worth of a talent. The talent of silver weighed about 100 pounds. A talent of gold, 200 pounds. Okay? So that's the weight. So when he saw this hail, it looked like it weighed about 100 pounds. So it was very huge, And if you look at the warheads, the warheads are not that big, but that's what the Apostle John saw. He saw the heads of the missile coming down, and he said it looked like the weight of a talent. He described it the best as he could with the terminology of his day. All right, so that's what this is talking about. That's that stone that's bringing the fire. All right, so let's go back up. So it says, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed the Most High because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. Yeah, it's gonna be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now let's go from there to, these are some of the precepts that came up in the blue letter, Revelation chapter 8 and verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. See, so this hail was mingled with fire, because those missiles, the heads of those missiles are bringing fire, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt, and all the green grass was burnt up. Right, and that's what's going to happen. That's what it's going to do. It's going to burn up the whole of America. And the reason why it says third part, which is not 3 parts, it's the third part, because this is the headquarters of Esau that the Lord is coming to take out. He's coming to take out Esau. He's coming to take out the major, hub of Esau, which is America. Okay. Now let's go from there to the same book, Revelation, chapter 11, and verse 19, straight to the point. And the temple of the Most High was opened in heaven, and there was seen in the temple the ark of his testament. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail. So that earthquake is what? The destruction that's going to be brought down upon America through what? The great hail, or the stones known as the missiles today. All right. Hail, same thing, kalatza. All right, now let's go from there to the book of Joshua. We're going to go straight to the point. Joshua chapter 10, and this is the Amorites, which are Canaanites, that were fighting against Israel, that were gathering, and then they first started fighting against the Gibeonites, which were Hamites or Canaanites, that made a league with Israel. They when you know the history, they feigned themselves to come from a far place, but they were actually neighbors. But then they were given word that they would be okay, they wouldn't be messed with. So when these Amorite kings, which saw they were great people, gathered five of their companies, 5 of their armies together to fight against them, and they called upon Joshua to help, because we had gave them the word that we were going, that they were going to be straight. So when we read the 11th verse, it says, and it came to pass as they fled before Israel and were going down to Beth Horon, that the Lord cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Azekah, and they died, and there were more which died with hailstone than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. So this was an ancient way that the Lord destroyed these nations, which was actual stones that were coming down from heaven and crashing upon these five armies of these Canaanites. So the Lord is going to use that stone today that's bringing fire by way of the missiles to do the same thing, as we read in Revelation 16, Revelation 8, Revelation 11, with these hailstones that are going to be coming down from the heavens. And when we read Genesis 19, when the destruction of Sodom, Gomorrah, and the other three cities, the Lord infused the elements in the heavens and caused great fireballs to come down and destroy those five major cities. For what? For their alphabet ways. All right. And that's another reason why the Lord is going to destroy this place. Not only are they compared to a harlot, but they also compared to moles. All right. Now let's go from there to Isaiah chapter 30, because Israelites will also get caught up in the fray. Anyone that's not written in the book of life will be caught up in this destruction here that's on the soils of America. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 30, and Yahweh shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, and shall show the lightning down of his arm, which is Yahweh Shai, with the indignation of his anger, because he's been holding back. Remember, it says, what if the Lord willing to show his wrath, endure with much long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, and with the flame of a devouring fire, which is those missiles, and scattering and tempest and hailstones. So he's going to do some major work on this place. Now let's go from there to Ezekiel. This is for you false prophets. That was for wicked Israelites in general. This one here is for you false prophets that profess to be men of the Lord and that are corrupting the doctrine and setting up this false narrative, taking away the names of the Lord, botching the scriptures up. You weasels, you little rats, you little, miscreants, you little impish, devilish demons. The Lord's going to get you too. Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 11. Say unto them which daub it with untempered mortar. This is dealing with what? Untempered mortar. You have a wall, and the wall is supposed to be set up with cement. Now, if you don't mix that cement properly, that it's not going to join the joints of these stones together properly, and eventually it's going to fall. And that's what you're doing when you're botching, the breakdowns up. That it shall fall, there shall be in it, there shall be an overflowing shower, and ye, O great hailstones, shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it. Right, because destruction is coming to, bring devastation upon you. Lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the daubing wherewith you have daubed it? Right, where's these fantastical breakdowns, that you had? Because Yahweh said, if it's not built upon a stone, it's going to fall. If you build up your foundation on sand, it's going to fall. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai, I will even render it with a stormy wind in my fury, and there shall be an overflowing shower in mine anger, and great hailstones in my fury to consume it. So you're going to be set up for this devastating destruction. So will I break down the wall that you have daubed with untempered mortar, and bring it down to the ground. And then there's a scripture in Hosea where it speaks that the Lord is going to take away the names of Balaam out. You're going to be destroyed too. Those of you that have, turned your back on the Lord, went back in the world, cast the name of the Lord behind you, his word behind you, the Lord is going to deal with every last one of you. So that the foundation thereof shall be discovered, right? That it had no foundation. And it shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in the midst thereof, and you shall know that I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Thus will I accomplish my wrath upon the wall, and upon them that have daubed it with untempered mortar. That's why it says, many shall follow their pernicious ways. And will say unto you, the wall is no more, neither they that daubed it. To wit, or to know, the prophets of Israel, which prophesy concerning Jerusalem, and would see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yeah, those of you that are talking about there's going to be no time of Jacob's trouble, and that Jacob's trouble is gay and all that madness. The Lord's going to deal with every last one of you, man. He ain't forget. This is dealing with, let's go to Ezekiel 38. This goes hand in hand with Revelation 16, Ezekiel 38 and 21. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. Right? You're going to have civil wars. You're going to have, men fighting against each other. These different militaries that the Lord is gathering. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are within him an overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. That's going to be the ultimate, closing credits of any movie that was ever produced on the planet. Thus will I magnify myself, because the Lord is going to use this destruction to magnify himself and to make his name and his son's name famous once again in the earth, and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And that's what the Lord is going to use to magnify his name, make his name famous and well known again. All right. Now let's go real quick. Got a couple more. Let's deal with the stone real quick. Revelation 8 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. The main point we're dealing with here is spiritually called Sodom. And Sodom was known for what? For their mole or alphabet behavior. And we read Revelation 17, where it's called this place an abominations of the earth. And that's one of the reasons why the Lord is going to destroy this place. Now let's go to 1 Kings, right? 22. And this was forget who was this king. I think it was Jehoshaphat. Yep. 1 Kings 22:45. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat and his might that he showed and how he warred, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And the remnant of the Sodomites, which these Sodomites were religious priests, cult prostitutes, which they incorporated that from the nations. Now, it wasn't always, man on man or woman on woman, because that's what the word sodomite implies. When you look at this word, the word is kodash, which means holy, meaning those that were cult prostitutes. That's how the nations would govern or do or worship their God, right? Whether it was man on woman, man on man, woman on woman, man on beast, woman on beast. This is what those cult prostitutes were. So Jehoshaphat shut this down, which remained in the days of his father Asa, and he took out of the land. All right. Now, when you look at this thing here, this phrase, he took out of the land, you would be surprised. And he took, the word there is ba'ir. You will be surprised what it means by he took. Ba'ir, to burn, consume, kindle, be kindled. So they were burnt. And that's, how America is going to go out also. Not just for playing the harlot, she's going to be stoned and set on fire, but for pushing that mole lifestyle on the world and being able, you can worship whatever religion you want to worship. It's going to be fire and brimstone, the stone and the fire that's going to consume this place. So he burnt these individuals that were doing this. And you wouldn't know that by just reading the English, because it just says, and he took out of the land. So in other words, he just kicked them out the land. No, he burnt them out the land. All right. Let's go to Revelation 21 and 8, and we could close it off there. Revelation 21 and 8. It says, but the fearful and unbelieving and the what? Abominable. and murderers and whoremongers, which whoremongers is not talking about a man that deals with multiple women. You know, he's married to one woman, he has a whole bunch of other women that he pops. No, that's not what that's talking about. A whore is a prostitute. A monger is a seller. So what is a whore seller or a seller of whores? A pimp. All right, that's what a whoremonger is, a pimp. It's not talking about somebody that has multiple women. As long as those women don't have a man, that man can have as many women as he wants. Okay, don't listen to the IUIC. If you have fishmonger is somebody that sells fish. You'll see that in some cities you go to, you'll see something in the front and then mongers, whatever their business is. They're sellers of that particular business. You have warmongers, those that sell war. All right, so on and so forth. That's what a whoremonger is. And sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death, which is the nuclear missiles. Now, we look up this word abominable. The word there is deluso, to render foul, to cause to be abhorred. Abominable, to turn oneself away from the account of the stench, metaphorically to abhor, detest. When we look up the word abominable is an adjective that means worthy of or causing disgust or hatred. By what? By reason of the actions that they push. When you go back to the Old Testament, Leviticus 20 and 13, when two men lay down with each other like they lay with a woman, they have committed an abomination, a filthy act. All right, something that is that causes disgust and hatred. And what is the penalty for that? To be taken out. All right. So how is America going to go out? By fire and by stoning, or by stoning and fire, which is the missiles coming down as stones and blazing this place up with the fire that's in the warheads that are coming down. For playing a harlot, for being, living that Mo lifestyle, for being the greatest conglomeration of confusion on the planet, for allowing people to worship whatever they want, and for totally, destroying or trying to destroy the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, and pushing to the world that they could do whatever they want. This place is going to go out. The abominable harlot's judgment. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.